Alright, welcome. This is something new for the channel. I am going to review a character by someone else. I'm not going to make it a habit of this, by the way, only for certain individuals. It wasn't asked of me, but I figure I can use this as a way for me to also learn more and get better at this as well. So the character I'm going to be reviewing today is Zazie by race Akira. And if you guys are familiar with this creator, I feel as though more or less you know what to expect. Me anyways, because I used to play Mugen. I'm gonna still say Mugen, whatever. I used to play Mugen as well. And they should use his characters. But as I was playing them, as with anyone else, I kind of just wanted things to be a certain way that only I could do, because only I know my vision. And you can't expect anyone to make something to appease you or to make something to fit within your standard of how you think it should be, because that's the whole point of Mugen, to be able to be creative and be custom and make it however you want to. You don't have to stick to a standard or, make anything that's source accurate. It's up to you. You're free to do it however you wish. That being the case, you can still have something that's fundamentally familiar without limiting yourself. Like, you don't have to, like, for example, Street Fighter 5, I know people don't really like that game, but when you see the characters in the trailer or before you even pick them, you're going to expect them to have all the moves that they had in previous iterations. King of Fighters is like the perfect example how they usually add something but take something away. But it all depends on how you do it yourself. So in my opinion, like I said, it's completely up to the author, of course. And then if you don't like it, you always have the ability to go and edit and change it, which I think everyone should exercise more often, rather than complaining about someone not doing this how you think it should be or how it was in source or anything like that. Do it yourself. And this is not like being rude about it. Literally try and edit it the way you want to, because only you can satisfy yourself and what you want. You shouldn't be waiting for someone else to do it how you think it should be, etc. Lower your expectations and then just go into it as in accepting it for what it is, and that it's someone's interpretation of said thing, not this is an accurate representation of so-and-so. So with that said, first thing you see, I got Fightcade right here. So I'm not super familiar with the source material myself, so I am going to load up the original game just to get a feel for the character myself, so I can, give my thoughts after having seen the source material. So I'm gonna load up the game, and right off the bat, this is a 4-button game, I already know, so there are some challenges when it comes to sprites and things like that. I'm surprised anyone even wanted to do a character from this game. I'm gonna activate player 2, so it's player 2 and not the computer, because the computer got the class.
Versus round 1, fight!
Oh man, this game is rough. Okay, I think the buttons are kind of shared with my controller, so excuse that. And I'm just using basic commands in fighting games because it's pretty much the same. The fundamentals are the same. If you know how to play fighting games, you can pretty much like make a character, because all my experience comes from being able to play fighting games, not knowing how to code or anything like that. But I did look up this guy's moves, so I do know that. Okay, so the sway is pretty much like a deadly thing. So he pretty much can dance, that's what that
is. Zazie wins.
So just because I'm looking at the source game does not mean that you have to make it exactly how it is, because then he would really suck. He would really be trash. Especially when he's trying to fight against his, like, if you pit all of his characters together, you know, then he's gonna be at a serious disadvantage. Okay, so I pretty much see how the moves work. Let me see. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna stop that. I pretty much got a feel for the character. I don't really have an analysis for it. I'm just gonna kind of go. I'm just gonna say things and just follow me as I go along with this. So let's load this up. Give me a second. But the game is really slow, really slow. But games back then, that was kind of like the average speed of them. The character, I don't even know how to, like, how I would categorize him. Not a grappler, a brawler, whatever, but he has a sway, so. Oh, my girlfriend is calling me. She's gonna see this later. Alright, here we go. So, here we go. We have Zazie. So, first thing first, let's look at his basic attacks. It's a 6-button character, race Akira, fashion, or CBS inspired. I don't believe in styles. It's inspired by CBS. At the end of the video, I'll put my video to show you where each of the mechanics came from, because for some reason people will associate a creator with the mechanics, which that's not the case. I made a video showing where each mechanic originated from. There may be people who did it first in Mugen, but they did not create it or come up with any of the fundamentals. Everything is derived from some type of source material, but yes, they indeed implemented it first in Mugen for people to mess around with. And you would think that the goal, as with most things that we create, is to create something so that we can further improve on it, so that the next person will not have as much trouble. You know, we're kind of just creating templates for ourselves, as I'm pretty sure this was created in a template as well. Okay, so first thing first, I will turn the sound on. Okay, so the sprites. So first thing I'm noticing immediately is Dampier spriting. And that feet flickering, the shadows, man. My OCD can't take it, but for right now, we're just going to ignore that and continue on with this video. So I got my controller here. This is what I use to play. This is my PS4 controller. So we're going to test out his normal moves. Light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick. Whoa, that's a high pause, which is position. So I'm pretty sure I haven't done anything to this. It's normal. Pretty sure there's chain combos. Like I said, this creator is usually consistent with what they use with all their characters. It's pretty much the same. And let's try it out. Yep, so chain combos are on. 3 hits, wow. That's a lot. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, it's up to you. As you make these things, you make it as you see fit. So one of the things that I noticed was this medium kick, that it kind of goes forward a little bit. I don't really see the purpose of this at all. It just feels weird. But But I mean, you can use it to get a little bit closer, obviously. But see if it does anything in custom combo. Well, it kind of makes you able to do that a little bit longer. But other than that, just in my opinion, I would take it off. You don't really need that. It could just be good as a standing normal, like you know, to counter someone, like to poke them. If you're playing like that, anyways, because it has really good range, so it could be used as a poke and maybe even possibly to guard against someone jumping in. I know this probably could. It looks like it from the animation, anyways. And the other thing is the heavy kick as well. That goes pretty far. Again, another thing that I don't really see the purpose of it. I mean, it's just too much. I could see if you just lower it a little bit. I personally would lower it a little bit. I personally would not have it at all, but that's just me. It's fine as it is, but I would just lower it some so he doesn't go. He's kind of going like that's a huge distance. I can't really gauge the exact distance, but he goes pretty far for a heavy kick, and for him to still get 2 hits from this distance, that's a lot. But he has a close heavy. This one's fine as it is. Close one. Just grab. Okay, that's cool. That's good. So now let's see the crouching attacks. Okay. Okay, that's standard. And first thing first, let me say this. You can only do so much with what we are given. Already, whatever you think of this person, it's not easy to make something like this with these type of sprites. They're extremely choppy. Well, I mean, not I guess not choppy really this game, but they just have low frame counts for a lot of the animations, so they're not really smooth looking. That's why they have to animate fast in order to just look presentable at all. But still, I think, as always, I think it's a pretty good job for anyone who can convert these 4-button characters into 6, because it's not easy. And you only can use what you work with. And the sprites look good. Demper, you did a good job on those, so, you know, a plus for that. Okay, so here's another thing. So if you played any of the CVS games, or a lot of fighting games really, that are 6 buttons, they'll often reuse animations, as seen with the crouching light punch and the crouching medium punch. You see one's a little bit faster, it's a little slightly slower. I would reuse this as this medium kick, and then change this medium kick to the heavy kick. The slide isn't really necessary. I mean, it can be used well, but I didn't really see this character having a slide kick. He looked kind of big, kind of bulky. I don't really see him doing a slide kick, but that's just me. Again, this is something, a preference of the creator. I'm just giving tips on how I would do it, rather than just complaining about how something is not like this or this. I'm just saying how I would do it or go about it. Alright, so jumping attacks. That's medium. That's heavy. So I will switch around the medium and the heavy. This looks more like a medium punch. This looks more like a heavy punch. I think this one may have been edited, but I think this one just looks heavier. But also it's going in an angle. Usually the heavier attacks, I mean, it's really specific to the game, but usually the heavy attacks are the ones that are pointed downward, more inward, where it looks as though they're putting more energy or more strength into the actual blow. But anyway, let's get into the kicks, jumping kicks. Okay, so the heavy kick is cool. This, okay. The jumping light, jumping medium. So here's what I would do with the jumping attacks. So similar to Ryu and Ken, if you don't already know, their jumping light is pretty much like this attack right here. So the neutral for the light and the medium can be this, and the jumping forward can be this. Because it's a downward kick, I will put it as the, you know, the non-neutral attack. And then the jumping heavy kick, okay, that's fine. And then like I said, I would change that one to the heavy one, and this one to the medium punch. But again, just an opinion. So now let me tell you something. I already feel as though I already know this creator's style And I don't mean styles like you guys call those styles. I just, like I was saying, certain people are consistent with how they do certain things. So I saw the video and this character has a projectile. I just feel as though you always give your characters projectiles no matter what. And they're going to have a super version, a level 1 and a level 2, and it's going to have wall bounce. I'm calling it right now. That black line, I believe, is from... I'm using this in Eichmann, not Mugen, not Mugen. So that may be the cause of that. So some of these errors may be the cause of that. But I don't use Mugen, so... it's whatever. So he has a fireball. That's actually Evil Kin's FX, by the way. I noticed that anyway. But that's cool. EA's version does 2 hits, okay. So he actually does not have this move. And again, if I didn't say it before, but I believe I did, it's up to you who are making yourself. You can make it however you want to. Because if this creator were to pit this character against his other characters, I feel like it would get demolished if it only had what it had from the source material. But in that same light, you can make it so any character can be viable, because Gaio only has 2 moves and he can go against anybody. So you can't say that, you can't limit your thought processing to that's why you have to do something. You don't have to give any characters any moves. Gaio went so long with only having 2 moves and he did great. He was a great character, in my opinion. It's all in you and how you play it, and you can work around that character's playstyle to just, you know, you got to get creative. You got to really get creative, because you can really do so much, you know. There's really no limits to it. Infinite moving. So the regular dodge and backstep, okay. So I think I saw somewhere that somebody said, I was looking at the comments, he doesn't have that sway. And the basically what I call it is dancing. So and he said he didn't need it because of this. So here's the thing about this. This is a dodge, but it's not the same. Though they both are dodges, the other move isn't just a dodge. It's also, so it's like if you were, he's not a boxing character, but for example, I use Dudley or Vanessa. Vanessa can use her move. She can quickly, like, you know, try to fake you out type of thing. And then she also has moves that go into it. Like Dudley has his ducking that goes into the straight or the upper. It's the same thing there. So my only thing with people who make characters and they get super creative, I'm not going to push it onto you how I would do it, but how I personally do it is I give characters all their original moves, and then I mean, but this is just me. Like I said, you don't have to do it this way, but that's just how I like to do it personally. And I feel as though you'll be taking away someone's freedom to really be creative if you tell them they have to do something a certain way. But when it comes to fighting games, people are really, they just have expectations, and you can't help it. When you see a returning character in a new game, you're gonna be like, oh, that's my boy, you know, I'm gonna pick him up and he's gonna be similar to how I remember. So you're not gonna Street Fighter 5 pick Charlie and he's just completely different. But that's different because they basically, you know, he was a semi-clone of Guile, so they didn't want to put 2 of the same characters in there. So that's kind of the reason for that. And people got used to it over time, but there are rare exceptions like that. But you don't want to give Ryu suddenly his dragon punches with kick or something like that. I feel as though you can add new things, but try to keep it somewhat consistent to how it was in those games. I mean, just for familiarity. Like, I think that people will be more attracted to something even if it's a little bit like what they remember. Not saying you can't add new stuff, but keep the original stuff there and then add other stuff. But ultimately, it's up to you. It's just my opinion. I'm not really into adding custom moves that a character has never had before. I always reference some type of material, and I try to blend it with what I have. But there is nothing wrong with custom stuff, and hopefully no one feels that. Because I feel like some of you are kind of afraid of critique you'll get for trying to do something different. Do something different. You never know who might like it. There are people who will enjoy your stuff just like this creator. There's some people who still enjoy his stuff. So, and a lot of people don't like it when you give blind feedback. Like, for me personally, I know how it is because people will just tell me, "Oh yes, this is great, this is amazing," and I ask them why is that? Oh well, it's good. You're not gonna learn anything from that type of baseless gesture. Like, I don't know if you guys read the comments when I say anything. People who compliment me and all this stuff, I appreciate it, but I don't really care. I'm trying to get better at this stuff. I'm trying to improve, and I need someone to be honest with me. If you're not gonna be honest with me, then you're not helping me. You're just wasting my time. But that's just me. That's just how I feel about it. I want to get better at it. I don't want you to tell me how great it is and you don't know anything about fighting games. I mean, personally, that's just me. But anyways, like I said, that whole people who feel as though you're undeserving of praise, who cares? Who's doing this for praise? If you look at it on the other side, and I know I'm kind of going off the side of this review here, but this is important. People want to play this stuff to enjoy it. People have lives. They want to escapism, whatever. This stuff is to be enjoyed, not freaking to get all crazy about it and whatever. Like, if you really want to do something a different way and you want to help someone, this is a good way. Showing them a visual or giving them tips without being rude, disrespectful, just because you have a vendetta against somebody, whatever. Just leave it alone. Let's just have fun with this stuff. But anyways, aside from that, I'm sorry, that was important because I know this person gets a lot of flack for that, especially doing the custom stuff like this. Just take it as I said. This is his interpretation of it. It does not have to be a perfect rendition. Exactly like anything. This is their version. If you want a Source Sacred version, not being a smartass or anything, but you make it because you can do anything. Rather than complain about how someone else is doing, you do it your way. Then you can compare and you're like, oh, well, you should try this. You should try this. And I'm gonna show you that I edited this a little bit to show you how I would do it. So we did that fireball move. Let's see if there's a super version of it. I already know. And guess what? There is a wall bounce. So level 1 version of it. Okay, now let's try a level 2 version of it. Also a wall bounce. More hits, more damage. I'm sorry you can't see the damage because I inserted this character into my Eichmann and it is not adjusted. So you cannot see the life bars or anything right now. But that's fine. We can see that it does more hits visually and it also has wall bounce. My tips for this super, take off the wall bounce for the level 1 version. There's no need for the level 1 version and the level 2 version to have it. It gives the level 2 version more, it makes it more unique for one, and it gives you more reason to use it because you can do this, which is a level 1. I'm pretty sure I could keep on juggling that. Let's see. Oops, my canceling is off, damn. But anyways, you get it. So, in my opinion, you can still keep the wall bounce, just make it exclusive to level 2. It makes it more unique, and it just, I don't know how to explain it. It spices it up by just making it. There's more variety. In a lot of your characters, I see that you don't really do anything different for each of the versions of the moves, like the light version, the medium version, etc. And we're gonna go over this again with another move right here. Alright, so I'm looking at the move list of this character right now. So here's the thing about the commands. The commands are different, just as though there's custom moves. I saw when I loaded up the character, there's an option in the config for you to change the custom move or keep it original. Make sure you look at that stuff because this person does do that. So you may not like the custom stuff, but he goes out of his way to add that for those who don't like it. And even if he doesn't, you can go into it and you can remove the move, you can edit it, you can change it. You should not feel so entitled to feel as though you shouldn't have to do it when it's you who's complaining that something is a certain way that you don't think it should be. You should be learning and editing yourself, and then you're fine, then you're good, then you have it the way you want. Only you know what you want and how you want it. So you want something done, you do it yourself. I really want to push that concept. I really feel as though that's what everyone should be doing. Rather than complaining, we should be doing things ourselves. So let's go to the next move, Hellfire. So in this, it's a Dragon Punch motion because it is a Dragon Punch type of move. The command may be different from the original game, but the command works this way because it fits with today's standards. Uppercut moves like this are usually anti-air type moves or whatever, etc. And usually that command, I don't really feel as though it's an issue. If it were, you can always go to the command and easily change it in 2 seconds if you don't like how it is. So that's the light version, medium version, heavy version. So let's try it up close. Okay, medium, heavy. So just from seeing that, as I was saying before, each move may go a different distance, but the move doesn't really do anything differently. It possibly does more damage, but the hits are all the same, so it looks identical. So there's really not much of a difference other than the distance. You can spice it up by changing the properties of each version, and I'll show you a little bit of that later. Like I said, I edited it a little bit, not a lot, because I'm not going to spend my time editing someone else's character. I quit doing that a long time ago, but I'm going to show you some things like how I would do it to actually give you a visual rather than just seem as though I'm complaining about how things are. So that's that move. And then EX version, oh man, I just don't like this. It's just not because of what it is, just because the sprites are just, this is no fault if you guys, I'm sorry if you guys edit these sprites. It just looks weird. It just looks out of place for me personally. Okay, so again, I know he does not have the dodge, but the sway stuff. But even though he has this, like I said, consider adding it because fundamentally it works differently, because he can keep on doing it. As we just saw, he could do it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and like it's like you're a boxer, you know, like mixing it up type of thing. So I think that's good because you can't do this with the regular dodge because it's slow, and if you could, then it would be cheap. But obviously in the invincibility on that is different, I'm sure. Okay, so same thing with Vanessa and Dudley, how they do have a dodge, but they also have the ducking moves. And what else? I think that, okay, yes, this is definitely custom. So I saw the guy saying that he just made him into a Shoto by giving him this stuff, and again, that's true, but I mean, this is how he wanted it. But I'm pretty sure that, whoa, did I just do that right after? No, okay. Well, it looks kind of like Kin's Tatsu, but it doesn't push him back very far. I wonder if you could get punished after that. Oh, oops. It looks as though you might be able to get punished after this, but I don't know. But anyways, I'm not really going to get into the custom moves because, like I said, that is something that the creator wanted to do, and, you know, that's on him. Is there an EX version of this move? Yes, there is. And it just does more hits, okay? Me, I don't think he needs that move. It's kind of unnecessary in my opinion, but like I said, we're not gonna really get into telling someone how to make something. Okay, and I believe he has one more move. Yes, this. So different distances. Okay, and that one is just, so this is a light version, medium, heavy. So just visually, I can see that the heavy version is faster than the light in the medium version. So let's see this up close. Okay, there's that. 2 hits, 3 hits. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so in my opinion, I don't believe I went over it in the first one because I'm planning to show you how I did little edits to show you how you would do it. But I'll just say it right now, adding more variety, you can do something like this. So how the light version in the actual game, make it so the light version is neutral, and then you'll still be keeping it familiar to people who played this character in the original game by having it like that, but you can also add the custom version for the other variations. So you can have that be like that and still do your custom stuff. That's usually how I do it. Usually I'll get more creative with the EX moves more so than I will the normal moves, because I mean, I just have more fun using references and taking them to the next level rather than, I don't really like creating things from scratch, me personally, but again, there's nothing wrong with that. Same thing with this. It goes forward. The heavy version is kind of super fast. There's like no reason to use the light version. Look how slow this is. Look how slow this is compared to the heavy version. It's almost instant. And the EX version is the same. Does the same amount of hits. So there's that. And I hope this helps you guys. Like, this is not shaming anybody. So you know, this is just an opinion from me. Make anything how you want it. I just want to make sure that I beat that. Really beat into that. There's nothing wrong with it. So just, yeah, I don't see any reason for the other versions at this point. So possibly, I mean, well, yes, increase the time, the startup time on the heavy version, or slow down the light version. And again, keep it neutral because it's an overhead. An overhead shouldn't be too fast. I believe if this is an overhead, this is way too good. That's way too good. I believe that's all the moves he has. And I'm gonna start doing the supers. The supers, from what I've seen in the video, seem to be custom. So like I said, I'm not really gonna go over any custom stuff really that in depth because I mean, I believe the person who made it, that's how they wanted to do it, so that's how they wanted to do it. So we already knew the level 2 version does that. My suggestion for that super, if you want to keep that super, I'm just gonna say I don't use custom moves like that, so I wouldn't use that. But if you want to have it, keep it so the level 1 version does not do the wall bounce. I think with most of your characters, anyone who has a projectile super, it's the same way. So you can continuously do what we saw earlier and just throw them a wall, throw them to the wall, throw them to the wall. Keep it exclusive to level 2 variants of that. But also, I don't think every super move needs a level 2 version. Make it so it's like you're trying to make it so there's more variety, but you kind of oversaturate characters with supers, or so it's like it makes you have to think more when using a character when they have limited options. Well, I mean, when you're being reasonable, I don't mean like give them only one super or something like that. I just mean like when you lower like the bloat, it's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just that it makes it you have to think more when doing certain stuff. Like you have to be strategic about what moves you use. That's why you don't need to give Guile any new moves. There's so many different ways you can play him because of all of his normals that he doesn't need 10 supers or, you know, any more than how many supers does he have? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think between the games. Like, he has a lot of supers actually if you put them all together like I did. But still, you don't have to do it like how the slight difference is 3 more hits, you know what I mean? So you can just make it so he only has a level 2 version of this. He doesn't need the level 1 version at all, really. And okay. And I believe that's also custom. So that wasn't bad for a custom super, but you guys already by now know how I feel about custom supers. Oh yes, I forgot about that move, my bad. So his other move is the rapid punch. So I think does he miss the first attack? Let me see. Okay. So pretty much like Joe's TNT punch. Okay. And then the EX version. Okay. That's not bad at all. I would just wait to knock him down though. See, the thing with this is when making characters in Mugen, whatever. I'm saying it Mugen for you guys right now, even though I really want to keep saying Mugen. But you want to make it so your characters. This is just an opinion. All the stuff I say is opinion, but I'm not attacking anyone or going against anyone or trying to make anyone look bad or anything like that. It's an amazing job to just make a character because it takes a lot of time. Even something like this, it takes a lot of time. A lot of time was put into it despite what you think. It takes a lot of time. I can tell you firsthand, I know. I do this almost every single day in my life. It takes a lot of time. So always look at that when you're playing at someone's stuff and really appreciate that this person took that time out of their life to bring you this and they wanted to share it with you. But what I wanted to say with characters is that, and I'm using you as an example, you want to add some depth to your characters because I feel as though as your characters are right now, you can, and it's been said to me before, you can play all of your characters the same way and pretty much do okay. Because usually your characters are consistent in the way that they usually have chain combos, a projectile that causes wall bounce, a level 2 version for every super. You can cancel level 1s into level 1s. I think you can do this with this too. Oh, let me do the other one. Yep, you can. And there's nothing wrong with this, mind you, because CVS was similar to this and how you could do 2 to 1 or what have you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but in doing it this way, you make it almost too easy for people to like. It doesn't really feel like a true fighting game experience, and it's not your job to bring that to anyone. Let me say that. But me, personally, that's just how I like to do it. You want there to be some type of challenge. It's like when you're playing a fighting game, you can play it and continuously improve and get better. You shouldn't really be able to pick it up and just be a master at it instantly. That's me. That's what I see the issue is with most of the people's stuff that they make. Mine also. I mean, I'm also learning to get better at it. I feel as though we all should strive to do that because we're making characters that are from fighting games. And my main gripe with Mugen is I don't like the brokenness, and that's the reputation we get. People don't think we can actually make anything that's viable. That's why I work so hard in what I do and trying to make something that looks viable. That's something that is not meant to be competitive, but it could be. You know what I mean? You don't have to be out there trying to make competitive characters. You're just making characters for people to play and enjoy and have fun, and that's okay too. But if you really want to go the extra mile, I say put more time into it and try to make it like more difficult because I literally sit down with every character. I freaking research all day, looking at combo videos. Then of course I'll play the game and just study and see, okay, so this is how this character works. This is their core mechanics and stuff like that, and I'll try to build off of that. Whereas you could go kind of the easy way and just make it so everything is accessible and easier and simple for people to do. That is, you can look at it similar to how they try to make Dragon Ball FighterZ have the auto combos where everyone can do it, but everyone can do that stuff, but you can also improve and get better at it by doing this advanced stuff. That's what I try to do. Anyways, that's just me personally. Again, no one has to do that. But I just think it's a good direction to go in. And you just, overall, people will play your stuff longer because I feel as though I can pick up any of your characters and do this. And, like, you know, do chain supers and whatever. Okay, so let's look at the level 3s. I'm sure they're the same way as usual. Okay. That was interesting. Again, not much to say in custom moves. I mean, custom moves are hard to come up with. Oops, I did it on accident. Oops. Isn't it, I'm thinking that level 3 is like backwards in 2, but I guess it's not. Oh, okay. Okay, and I already told you this in the Discord. personally, I just think that FX is just kind of ugly. But you're probably using what you got, and that's cool. So custom supers are not easy to make. So there's nothing you can really say about that. And I'm trying to give all my characters level 3s as well. So whatever you can come up with, some are easier than others. So we can't really knock that. So I am going to pause this really quick. So the character's cool, it's okay, but I really feel as though it's not that much different from some of your other things. Like I said, if I can already name, I'm trying to think of the characters, like 2 or 3 characters up the top of the dome who have similar things. Batu, Yamazaki, and this dude, Mickey. I don't really remember. I don't really use their stuff in a long time. But all of them have the same thing. They have a projectile, level 1 super, level 2 super that has a wall bounce, the same type of stuff. The dragon punch that goes like this in an arc for Batu. I remember that because I always thought that it looked ugly. Not what you did, but the sprites. But yeah, just like add more variety to your stuff and I'm not saying that you don't put time into it, but I feel as though you can get so many more people into your stuff if you try to make things more unique between characters. Like this dude, just looking at his body type, he's kind of fast. I don't think he should be that fast, but that's just my opinion. In the game, the source game, they're really slow, so you can't really compare it to the two. Again, you're trying to modernize all of this stuff, so you have to look at that as well. And it's not easy to do. So you always get points for that. You always get points for trying. And, overall, I think it's good for the casual Mugen player because not everyone is an expert fighting game, hardcore gamer, and you don't have to appease or try to fulfill or stick to any standard and what you make it to have fun and whatever. People enjoy it like this, they enjoy it like this. You know what? Some people love it. They don't complain. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just giving my opinion. So I'm going to pause it right here, and then I'm going to go and show you some examples of some of the stuff that I was saying in the video that you can do, and just, give you another more insight, on my suggestions. So I'm going to pause it right here. Hold up. All right, here we go. We're back at it. Race Akira, Zazie from Fighter's History. Okay, so let's go back over a few things. These are just a few suggestions from me from testing it for a little bit. Okay, I'm not going to sit down here and completely redo your character, so I'm just giving you a vague visual of what I'm saying. Okay, so if you remember what I was saying about the normals, okay, so how light punch, medium punch, heavy kick, so light kick, medium kick, you see it's slower. The heavy kick is just no slide to it. That was my idea for the normals because I don't really feel as though the slide is necessary. It just looks out of place and he slides like a quarter of the screen. So the normals, the medium punch, heavy punch. So I look at it like, boom, it just looks like it goes in better. It just looks heavier than the other punch. And then I said about the kicks, right? So Ken oops, I actually did that wrong. I did that backwards, oopsies. But anyways, this is supposed to be like this, neutral, and then jumping forward. So neutral, this is like if someone jumps in, you jump up, counter. You know your terminology. If you don't, it's like you can use it as a counterattack. If someone is just randomly jumping in, or like Chun-Li's heavy jumping. I do it a lot in the videos. You just jump with a neutral jump. You're not actually jumping forward. It's because they're thinking you're gonna go forward or back or whatever. But you just do neutral. You hit them with the overhead, or you counter their jump in or whatever. But yeah, there's that, as I was saying. And I completely removed the projectile because I don't feel like it was necessary. Also with all of the custom moves, but again, like I said, that's just me. And I just want to reestablish that, man. for you to actually want to mess with these characters because the sprites are just ooh-wee. So what else did I do? Okay, so the Dragon Punch move, the Hellfire. Neutral is just like as it is. So someone jumps in, boom, you got a counter right there. That's just the light version. Medium goes a little bit forward. Heavy goes even further. That's how you can mix it up by actually having some diversity because this is how it is originally, and then your custom versions, which is perfectly fine. So you can have both. And then the light version, just again, this does not knock them down. It just hits them back. So the purpose of this is so you can combo into it. Oops. You can do that and then do like a super or something. And then I also took the wall bounce off of that, but I did not change the distance that you have set, like I said. But still, like I said, the level 1 version does not need the wall bounce. You can have it knock them like slightly, you know, not as far back, obviously, because that one is trying to get the wall bounce, but keep it so the level 2 has the wall bounce exclusively. It just looks better, in my opinion. So I don't know if I did that with this. No, I didn't change it, but I would do the same thing as I did with this one. Keep it neutral and then add slight movements to the other versions. Of the EX version of that, I took away that going up. Instead, it's like, so this character does not have the animations for the spin, but I made it so it's like this is like a charge. It hits him twice and it knocks him up slightly in front of him, so then you can set it up with something else. Like a super that will just go right into it. Not like that, but and I will make them fall down obviously after this. Fall down faster, so you can't use it in succession after that. It's like a combo ender, you know what I mean? Like make your moves like combo enders. But anyways, as you saw with the EX, okay, so the light version knocks him a little bit ahead, doesn't knock him down. This one knocks him slightly ahead, like the same distance that you had originally for all three. This one knocks him a little bit higher, so you have some variation to that. So a little lower distance and then the highest distance. And again, I guess I'm gonna show some examples with some of my characters and some of that stuff. But anyways, like I said, I did not edit this move, but like I said, I would do the same as this, keep it neutral for those, and then for the EX version, maybe add a ground bounce. You know, I mean, I don't know if you use ground bounces, but I think that could work there because it's a kick that's going downward. So, excuse me. What was the other move? Oh yes, that I always forget about that move. So that move I have it. So neutral is like E Honda's type of thing, because that's how it is in the game. Someone's trying to get next to you. Same thing with Blanca. You know, they're trying to get next to you, but they can't get past this. So the light version is like that. The medium version goes for some distance, and the heavy version goes the furthest distance, obviously. Okay, and then the EX version I did, he gets more hits in, and I was kind of going for Chun-Li's, you know, her rapid kicks move, how she can get more hits on it. The last hit, I would change the velocity a little bit so they don't go as far back, so they could get hit by that last punch that can knock them down. But if they're getting hit with all these attacks, so you could cancel it into a super. Okay, then we already went over the slide and the dodge moves. Okay, so pretty much we went over everything. I showed you a few examples of that stuff that you can use to spice it up, you know, add some more variety to the gameplay. Because like I said, all the characters that I've played, in my experience, they're pretty similar. And I feel like it's not easy mode. There's not really any challenge to it. And again, it doesn't have to be, but it would make me want to play your stuff more if it were harder to do and harder to execute. Because me, I personally leave things that are close to being infinite to in. I leave it in because it's not easy to do. But someone, if they keep practicing, they can get good at it. And then if they are able to do it, then that's just, it's like with any game. The infinites are usually there, but they're not easy to do. I'm not saying go add infinites, and I don't try to intentionally, but I mean, it's just good to add a little something where you can actually earn it. You know what I mean? You earn it. Like you can say you're good with this character, because in its movie, no one really says that, and that is what attracts more people to this stuff. When it looks as though it's something that is not super easy or just, I don't know. It's like people who make full games, usually you can see they actually put time into it to make everything just look uniform and stuff like that. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this character. I'm not going to rate this on a grade scale or anything, because ultimately it's Mugen and you make things however you want to. But for the fighting game fans, like I said, keep your expectations low, because not everyone is making this to that standard to be the next CVS or whatever. They make it first and foremost for fun, for people to enjoy. This is a cool way, I think, that people can use to, give people tips about what they can do, how they make it better, by actually doing it, by actually giving them, feedback, which I've seen before from this creator as well. And I think he tries to take it, and hopefully he could consider this as well for his works and future works. I think overall it'll just make your stuff even better and more fun. And I think your fans would really enjoy the variety. So good job on this character. I went over those main points, and damn, Pierre, you gotta fix those sprites, cause look at this, man. This is just just look at this. His skin is just jumping around. His feet doesn't know whether they're shaded or not. But still did a good job. I'm definitely not hating, but I would go and correct this stuff. Me personally, I just get annoyed by stuff like this stuff. But that is Zazie by Akira, and you can download this character. I'll put his info at the end screen and in below. And he also has his own work in progress page on the Discord that you can check out and get this stuff first when it releases. And that's all I have to say about that. Alright, so I just finished that video. I'm going to make a little end thing for it. I was going to show some of my stuff in reference to it, but you've been seeing the videos of what I've been doing, so you pretty much already know. Keep doing your thing. Keep making characters. That goes for all of you. Don't give up. Don't be discouraged about what anyone else is doing. Focus on you. And I just want us to maintain this for as long as we possibly can. So those of you that are out there who basically get upset when you see people blindly praising things because you don't feel as though it's satisfactory. A lot of people out there are just happy and excited that things are still being made. But you same individuals, man, get out there and make stuff as well. Don't continuously sit on your butt and wait around for someone else to do things. We could have so much more. But no one is just showing any effort. So when someone like him comes back, everyone is excited because now you actually have more stuff to play with. And it sucks that it's like that, but that's how it is. Literally flies on shit. And I can see it myself. I'm just being real with you. And I'm the type of person who is, despite trying to be a YouTuber and stuff like that, I'm going to always give it to you straight, and I'm not going to front. I'm going to tell you like it is for real. I ain't going to I'm not going to BS. But for real, man, everybody just keep it going. Keep it positive. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm here to help you. There's other people who may be here to help you. You just have to go and ask questions and try. Do something. But yeah, I just want to end that video with that. I can do these type of things upon request, but I do want to say I want to limit it to stuff that I actually know about. Preferably characters from, the CVS verse. Because that's what I know. That's really all I know. And I'm not perfect. I'm still learning myself, so I'm also my biggest critic. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this type of video. I know my camera's not that great, but I just try to do something different. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And see this end screen here? Look at these videos. Hopefully they're exactly where I'm pointing at. I'm going to try to line them up like that. This one. This one right here. Nah, this one. Maybe this one right here. Nah, that's that tutorial you need to look at. If I can line it up like that, that's going to be tight. But anyway, peace out. This 2D 2Dee4ever. Now, I haven't come up with a thing yet, but I'm going to. Peace out.